Boy, I tell you, they're weird. Let me turn this camera back around. They are so freaking weird. Why are you guys so freaking weird? Let me turn this camera back around so I can greet my people, my peeps. What's good, my people, my peeps? Hold on, look at y'all. My seatbelt on. These people are so freaking weird. What's wrong with them? How are you guys doing today? What is wrong with them, guys? They are so freaking weird. I mean, you know what? We're gonna do. This is an open discussion today. I haven't been on since last week. I'm gonna try to make. I'm gonna try to be here regular. I'm gonna try to be regular degular here. Um. Oh my gosh. We're gonna ride, y'all. Go get another spot. We're gonna have an open discussion real quick. I just had to show y'all guys. They're weird. The perps themselves are just they're weird, but you know there's different levels to this. What we know to be gang stalking. You know that's the street slang for it. I don't know if it'll hold up in court, but you know. Yes, I am. What's good, Sergio? I am at it again. What's good? You know, I'm going to see if I can find a place where I can park without being interrupted. This is an open discussion. Uh, I just was showing you guys footage of some of the gang stalkers. They're just weird. I don't know why they are so. I don't know. I think some of them become obsessed with us as targeted individuals. To tell you the truth, at some point, it's strange. But you know, there's different levels to gang stalking, and you know these covert operations where people feel the need to follow you, watch your every move, and then report it back to who knows who. You know, but not only that, I was saying there's different levels because today, well, not just today, but other days I had noticed different cars following me. These are not the same cars of the gang stalkers that we know of, that I know of. These cars that are following me are they're different cars. And trust me, I peep game. And I wanted them to know that I saw them today. That's why I pulled out where I was at and pulled up in park so that they could know that I saw them, you know, following me and, you know, trying to do their little covert operation. But I just think that they are just paid ops. That's what I think they are. They're paid ops, paid to do what? Who knows what? We can't tell. Um, from my guesstimates, they are they're very low on the totem pole as far as if we were to try to see how many actual humans that have humanity still left in them, they would rank very low because I don't know if they even possess humanity or the ability to feel. Right? I want to park somewhere so that I can see. Let's set a trap for them. Let's see if they'll come. Let's set a trap. I want to park somewhere where I can see them pull up. You know what I'm saying? So we could just watch them swarm today. They've been swarming every other day. Let's just watch them swarm. Um, but what I can't understand is uh, these. I know some of them are NPCs or just background people. They have no real souls or no real direction. Only but they're only doing what they're told, right? Um, so they really don't have any kind of their own aspirations in life, basically. And a lot of people, quiet as it's kept, they have to be led. Even if you're not a natural born leader, some people really want to be led by somebody or an organization or feel a part of an organization, to feel that they are someone in this, I can't say, big, wide world because with the invent of the internet and everything, everything is like a micro, cosm of our existence now. We're so close to each other and we never knew it, right? Until the internet. But these people that are part of gang stalking you, whether they are people or not, whether they are NPCs, whether they are empty vessels. Let me see. Let me get over here. Okay. Um, they need to be led by somebody. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull in. I'm gonna show y'all right quick so y'all can see before I even get started. I'm gonna turn this camera around really quick. Okay. So I'm pulling in here so y'all can see. It's just that one white car. This place is closed by the cones right here, right? Make sure y'all seeing what I'm saying. This place is closed. There's a white car over there in the cut. This is like a detailing shop, and then there's a Mickey's gas station, and then there's a car. So basically, there's no one here. So this is gonna be our little, in that little white car that's already back here. So we peeping our game today. So I can pull over and talk to you guys real quick. So this is a gas station, a local gas station. So there's no one here. I mean, that blue car, it was here already. And then so when I park, when I'm, what's the word I want to use? I can't say it. When I'm strategic, it won't come out, about how I'm parking and stuff, normally they won't show. Y'all see them big old fake clouds in the sky too? Hold on, let me put this up here. Okay, so let me turn this back around. We got one truck coming in, but that's not for me. That's not for me. We go see them roll up here soon. So let me turn this back around real quick. Turn this back around. I don't know if I need the light. And put this up here. Give me the light. I have some light up here. Okay. Hold on. This is just a general conversation. I'm going to turn off the car real quick so the audio is going to change. Shoot, I should. Okay, so these people are, okay, so these people are exactly what I said they are. Even if they may not be people, they may be synthetic clones. We in this community have, well, some of us. Let me say not. Shoot, got dog it. Hold on. Where did that go? Oh, I have to get it later. Not all of us, but some of us in this community have. We've been talking about clones. What's good? What's good? Love y'all. They bots. Yes, indeed. And bots. I forgot to say, and they're bots. So we know they NPCs, bots, clones, synthetics. The synthetics, they look literally like humans. Some of you guys have seen them. If you're male, you've watched them on your football team, your basketball team. Half of those people are synthetics or bots or whatever. So a lot of these people are just programmable, okay? Um, they're just led however the wind blows the operator. Um, and so, but some of these people are, like I was saying, are literally part of organizations that are. Here we go. They have set up organizations that think that they're doing good for humanity, for the world. At this point in time, if you haven't studied and know what's going on, especially with your government, and know that how so much that's coming out in this day and time, which we know as the end times, everything is being revealed, and how corrupt and how insidious the acts of your own government has been to the masses of people, and then to the down to the nucleus, which is us as targeted individuals, as chosen ones. How sinister and manipulating they have been regarding the citizens of the United Corporation of America. If you don't know that that is happening, and how they are so manipulative, then you might be just one of those individuals that I listed off earlier. It's just crazy. Um, it's crazy, and they're just weird. Like I said, the title of this. So today I want to talk about, they are just weird. Um, these things out here that are amongst us. Um, Also, the title is about, I want to have a discussion about Cleopatra and the controversy about Cleopatra. There is a new movie, and it's on Netflix, and it's about, I think it's like a somewhat of a kind of like a biography of Cleopatra, and it's coming out. And I don't know if it's out or if it's, I don't know when the release date is, but I just seen just this storm of controversy regarding this bio, uh, kind of half bio movie situation. I believe Jada produced it. Jada Pinkett Smith produced this movie about Cleopatra, and so if you know about Cleopatra, you already know it's the Egyptians that are there now occupying that land are upset because in this biopic of Cleopatra, she is portrayed how she should be portrayed or be presented, and that is of Negro descent, of a person with melanin, a deep melanin that she's possessing. They're showing in this this biopic. And so you have a lot of the Egyptians that are there now, very upset, very upset. So I'm gonna come back to that. Hopefully I won't forget to, but I just want to go back to how, talk about how these these perps are so weird, um, and whatever they are, wherever they, we need, how when you used to go and you used to have to fill out applications or whatever, and they had checked the box for your identity as far as what you thought you were, white, black, Hispanic, and so on, or other, with these perps. That's what we have to. They need a box. What kind of perp are you? Are you a human that has surrendered your vessel for demonic possession? I mean, are you has your brain and your whole body been taken over, and now you are a reprobate? Check that box. Are you a bot? Check that box. This is the type of level of I mean, are you a synthetic? Check that box. These are the type. I mean, walk-ins, whatever. These are the type of things that we are dealing with at this day and time. And Sometimes I just have to sit and I have to look at them, or while I'm in my car, and just sit there and just be like, wonder what went wrong. You can't. If it's a bot, they're programmed, so you just have to blame whoever put the program in them. Um, but the rest of these people, if they have an inkling of a brain cell, what went wrong in your life to actually feel that it is okay to target someone? I'm going to see how long this truck is going to be over here, because, like I said, I parked in an area where there was nobody here. Right? I parked in an area. Well, there was a few cars, but this, I don't know, this detailing shop is empty. It's closed. And but when I pulled in, a truck pulled into the gas station across the way, and I'm gonna see how long it's gonna be there, because sometimes they try to park in places to look like they're servicing or patronizing the business, but they're not. They're there to watch you and me. Guys, even if, you don't believe in the end times, right? Here they go. Here they go. You know. Even if you don't believe in the end times, here they go. Let me. I bring them to the show. I bring them to the show. I literally bring them to the show. I literally bring them to the show. Y'all see? Mm. Look at this. I got all kind of. I need to go home. I literally bring them to the show. Look at this. Look at this. Have y'all seen when I pulled up? There was this car just pulled up. Let's see him get out, because this facility is closed. I bring them to the show, and look over here. You see that truck? That's just that red truck. You see this other truck that just pulled in. I literally bring them out. 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 Mm. And he's just gonna sit there. That's why I said, let me film before I come over and park, because I was over here by myself, minding my business, and here they come. I bring them out. You hear what I say? Bring them out. Bring them out. But this this place was empty, because hardly anybody. This is like like a rundown gas station. I know y'all got them in y'all towns, in your cities, in your places of business or whatever. I know. Look at her. Look at this perk. Go do the perk walk. Yeah. Look here, y'all. I'm way over here. He parked beside me. I was filming him. He got out from here and walked way over there to go to the store. Come on now. You can't make this up. See, I was parked right here by myself. So that's why I said they're weird. I cannot make this up. They are freaking weird. They have to be. You cannot be anywhere alone amongst yourself, minding your business, because you're gonna get a perp that's gonna pull up right beside you. We brings them out. Let me turn this back around real quick. We brings them out. He gonna park right beside me, but carry his behind all the way over there, and all the way over there. I can't zoom in. Is there a way I can zoom in? I need to learn if Yard Stream can let you zoom in. Let me see. Camera. Oops, no, not that. Hold on, y'all. Y'all need to see. That don't make no sense. That don't make no sense. Settings. He parked way over here beside me. Oh, there we go. I'm working it now. Ha! Okay, y'all see how I have to zoom in so y'all can see? And he has to walk all the way over there. Now, in front of that store is parking places. This is around the side, which none of these vehicles was here when I pulled up, mind you. And then this is the back. Y'all, why let me zoom out. Why he park right here? Y'all tell me, perk with me. Holla back. Holla back. Why he park right here? Because we brings them out. Let me turn this back around like I said I was gonna do. Ah, they're so weird. Anyway, okay. So anyway, let me get off of them. Uh, I'm glad this is just an open discussion. This is just me bumping my gums. I am so glad that and then I want to see if the sun sets as well. I want to see some changes in the atmosphere. But yeah, I wanted to talk about how weird they are, and if there are perps, if there if there are people that are following you that are not necessarily in the grand scheme of it all, as far as organized gang stalking, the covert operation of it all. Well, are they? Do they have an inkling of a soul left? You know what I'm saying? With them being so weird, do they have just a piece of a soul if they're not completely taken over? And not just the perps. Now I know some of you guys. I'm sorry, guys. I'm opening these windows now. I'm about to start sneezing. Um, we have family members, right? And some of us have some of our family members have acted very strange once we ourselves were aware of us being put into this program. Nevertheless, um, we still interact with certain family members or talk to family members at particular times or what have you. And I know that I had talked to you guys about having a discussion. Well, I had a discussion with a person that was not my family member, but just a general, person. And I was talking to her about the digital currency that's coming. And she had like no idea and everything. I just don't understand. At this point in time, I should understand. And maybe at some point, I don't want to wrap my mind around. Even some of our family members will not. How can I say this? Because they may, some of them watch, but they don't say anything. Um, will be asleep, or they're still asleep. Um, hmm. Or are they pretending to not know what's coming? Uh, and so I had this conversation with a family member, and I was telling them, about what's on the horizon for this corporation we know as America, and how the collapse is imminent. It's just a matter of days, not years. Literally a matter of days, right? I'm talking about the collapse as far as the financial collapse, moving us into digital. It's just a matter of days. Maybe I think 25th of this month, you might see some more changes occur on until July, because they said July they actually want the digital dollar to be in effect, right? The digital, not even digital dollar, digital currency to be in effect. And so I was talking to this family member, and it was almost like I was talking to that young lady that I had a conversation with about a month ago, and it was oblivious to they were oblivious pretty much to what was going on besides what I had told them about. And it was like just dismissing what I'm trying to tell them, right? And so as I am having this conversation with them, uh, I believe in a higher creator. I believe in the Most High God. I mean, I believe, this is my opinion, that people who don't believe in a higher God are are the narcissists of the narcissists. They're super narcissists. If they don't understand that there's a higher creator besides themselves, right? Um, because if that was the case, they would be able to save themselves out of this in a gang stalking situation, or if they're poor, they'll be able to save themselves and become rich. Hello, how you doing? How you doing this evening? Um, so they're I would call them a super narcissist. But anyway, so I believe in the Most High. This family member believes in the Most High. But they still call him, by the titles, God, and the basic titles that they call him. Um, but couldn't understand that the end times are upon us. And I think this is for a lot of people, although they have gone to church practically, not all their lives, but practically, you could say the majority of their lives. And some of these people um, can't fathom that we are in the end times. Some of these people can't are, and when I say the end times, just the end of a cycle, right? End of a rulership class of people, and a new people are going to come. But there's going to be some real crazy events that are going to transpire. But these people that I speak of have been in or have been in church or have studied or whatever, and they can't see the signs, like they can't see the rightness on the wall, and that blows my mind. And so I'm having this conversation with this family member, and the family member says, well, they're going to put their trust in God, the Most High, right? And they're not going to have any fear. And I've heard that with people on different platforms. Don't have no fear. I'm not, or people try to relay a message of what's going on or what they've heard, and in their comment section you hear, or not you hear, but you read people, telling them, stop being a fear monger, stop pushing fear. Uh, and so pretty much I got that same kind of comment back from a family member. I'm not going to be in fear. I trust in the Most High God. And I was like, first of all, I don't think anyone that has a platform, or any one of us that have gone to a family member and have discussed with a family member what has taken place with us regarding gang stalking and all of the tactics that have they've enacted upon us, or we passed that phase, and if you're a child of the Most High and you know the signs of the times, you may go back and try to have these conversations about, maybe get ready, store up food, keep money, some money with you. Don't not all. I mean, it's something like I said. Some of y'all guys may have a lot of money. You can't
carry millions of dollars around, but you would want to have something because if not if, when the system shuts down and you can't go to the teller machines and you can't go to the bank. I mean, they've showed you this in other places, but us as American citizens, and I'm just saying this in general, we have lived a lifestyle, whether you've been rich, poor, middle class, or whatever, of abundance in many ways. Um, even even the people that you may see on the street corner, the people you may see holding up signs, they've lived abundance in that form. And I know you might be like, well, what do you mean in that form? They're on the street corner holding up I'm hungry or something, a sign along that line. But they're living in abundance right now, and that's a form of abundance because people will ride by and give them $1, coins. I've even heard that some of these street panhandlers are like six-figure um, people. Instead of going to the job, they go to the street corner. But some of them are in need, right? But they're still living in abundance. And so let me say this, why I say that, because we still have the ability to go into our wallets or our purse and pull out paper money, which we know is null and void. It has no benefit to none of us, but maybe if we save it, we can burn it if it's wintertime to keep warm. But they're still living in abundance via us. You know, Everything has, it's like a chain or a cycle or a level. And so us, by giving them money, they're living in abundance because they are able to freely receive that money. Do you understand? So that is their abundance. So, but once the government has shut everything down, and they gave you a trial run. I mean, and the trial run started in the beginning of, what is this, April? I think at the end of March, with Silicon Valley shutting down. That was the first, and that was a major bank. And although, yes, it dealt with a lot of entrepreneurs and their businesses and so on and so forth, but that was not the only bank. That was the first bank, and then it was a trickle effect, right? Like you throwing a pebble into a pond and you see the water. It does waves. It trickles out. And it started affecting other banks, established banks, and now they're trying to scramble. But this time, there's not going to be a bailout for these banks. The last bailout for these banks, big bailout, was in what 2008, I believe, with the housing crisis, with the scam, the house of cards that the banks planned. Then there was a big bailout. So, but this time, this is a purposeful crash. They need to crash it because they can't come out of the debt that America has put themselves in. And then for their total control, on the other hand, of this grand scheme that they have, it must crash. And so when we if you're trying to forewarn people, and it may sound redundant because whoever you listen to may say something in that form or a different way, but they're telling you pretty much to get ready, right? And a lot of people are not taking heed to that, and so they say, stop pushing fear. You're pushing all this fear, and not that my family member told me that, but in a roundabout way, that's what it was when they said that they're not living in fear or the Most High is going to provide for them. And so I was like, I had to stop when I was having this conversation because I had to say, I don't want to argue with you. You see, I'm not arguing with anybody anymore because time is too short. Okay. Um, so I had to tell my family, I'm not trying to argue with you, but what I want to say is, I want you to know that I'm telling you what is coming. And what I want you to know is the Most High God wants you to have faith in Him, and He gives you wisdom. He gives you wisdom, or even if it's not wisdom, He gives you the capability to possess a brain, and it has cognitive functions where you can process different applications as far as knowing how to tie your shoe. You know what I'm saying? Unless something has truly affected your brain to where you are incapable of such cognitive, uh, um, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? You're not able to problem solve. Okay, and that we understand that as people who have retardation or mild retardation, so some of those people cannot problem solve using their cognitive abilities on certain levels. But I'm saying at an average, not no off the charts, well, off their charts, because their charts as an IQ chart is biased, to say the least. So if any of y'all think you're smart because of their IQ chart, think again. That's a biased way, a scale of judging someone's ability to reason. But we know that some children come out with Down syndrome, or they have some stumbling blocks, right? I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about just on an average for you all to be able to process certain problem situations and be able to come up with some kind of problem solving conclusion for that situation. Okay? And at this point in time, I think most of us are capable of doing that. Yeah, you were thinking if something happened, it would be in July. Yes. Well, yeah, that definitely is the forecast for and from what I've heard uh on I watch this guy on AM, what is his channel? AM TV. But sometimes you got to watch people and how they say chew the meat and spit out the bones, because he's pushing cryptocurrency and what else is it? Bitcoin. But he also gives good advice, but his advice is mostly structured for the rich and wealthy. But I still watch him because he says, and I watch people who are investment strategists and things of that nature, and just the world in general. That that's what would help you to actually process it. Uh, Problems that are occurring, the breakdown of your United States of, well, the corporation of America. Um, and so when I had to tell my family member, I'm not arguing and I'm not going to argue and I'm not arguing with nobody, nada. I'm going to say what I got to say and I'm going to keep it pushing, right? Um, but the Most High God has given you a level of understanding and reasoning. And so your faith, yes, you to have faith as a mustard seed, and guys, a mustard seed is so very tiny. It's so very tiny. If I was to put a dot on my finger, let's see, to demonstrate to you all, let me see if I can do just a dot. Put this dot. I don't know if you guys can see this dot on my finger. If you see this dot on my finger, that's the size of a mustard seed. That's all the faith that you need in the Most High God. Okay? Oh, you still here, Sergio? That's what's up. That's what's up. That's all. That's all the faith that you need in the Most High God. But like I said, most of us and some of us have gone to church or been in church or studied the majority, not all. I'm not going to say all of your life, but the majority of your life. And so if you have the faith of a mustard seed, which is about the size of that dot on my fingers, very tiny, but he also says you got to have present works with that. And that's what we are doing as people with platforms that are trying to let you know time is at hand. Okay? And that's what I was trying to let my mother know. Okay, whether, I don't care what you say. Because I learned uh, saving coins and dimes when I was young from my mom. Well, first my dad, my father used to say, you know how you have coins in jars and stuff like that. And but my mom does it. I'm not talking about saving. Hold on for a minute, y'all. Let me let the air. Let's just window down a little bit. I'm not talking about money that you may have. Oh, a little too breezy. And see, the weather is crazy. And I'm in Texas. It's almost May. It should be hot. Not that I always want the heat, but I know the different climates of our state. But not that that what was I saying? Okay, so you might have like coins or money jars at home or whatever, and so you know this family member made the statement that they have say got some coins at the house. I mean literal coins, not in the slang of the terminology. I got some. Get me a coin. Literal coins, and I had to pause for the cause and just say, I'm talking about like cash. And when I say have some money on, guys, let me tell you something. I'm so beyond this system because it is so freaking corrupt and evil to the core, to the very core. And so this dude and came back, huh? I wonder, is this your shop, sir? Or you just want to be nosy? You just want to be nosy. Just food and came back and pulled in the cut, y'all. I tell you, I bring him out, bring him out. He acting like he going to vacuum his car out. Anyway, I'm not gonna pay attention. We already talked about how weird they are. Um, I'm just talking about when the financial system collapsed. The first hit, the first. Well, it won't be the first. The second attack, which will be all of the United States of America, the corporation of America. The second attack, when all banks, big or small, shut down for that week, that day, that very hour. The very hour it shut. Hold on for a minute. I cannot talk with this gum in my mouth. Y'all, excuse me. Excuse me. Get this gum out my mouth. Um, the very hour it shuts down. What will you do? I'm not promoting get rich or die trying. Trust me. I'm not the girl. I'm not the girl. I'm not the woman. I'm not at this point in time. I know what's up. I know what's up. On this channel, I'm not trying to tell y'all get rich or die trying. I ain't. And so I won't get too far off point, but I'm gonna go back to that get rich or die trying. Um, it's too late in the game to even think about that. It is too late in the game to even think about get rich or die trying. That concept, that mentality that they push on the world, and especially on us as Israel. I'm just talking about that first hour when you hear you turn on your TV if you still watch TV, or your radio if you still listen to mainstream radio. or you're in the stores and you hear people say, "Oh, we're not taking our cash machine is down." We'll take cash, and then you're at the grocery store and you try to run to the teller ATM, and the ATMs are not working. I'm talking about initial that initial shutdown across the United States. Okay, that's what I was trying to you know to inform her, just to keep some form of cash, because in those initial hours you'll still be able to use cash as a transaction. Okay, with if you didn't have any food, or you were, like I said, you were at the grocery store in the process of getting food, if you so if you had that wisdom about you to carry at least a $20 bill on you, or how, I don't know everyone's financial level, but to have something in your on your possession. And this is not a highway I'm parked. I don't know if y'all can hear all of that street theater, but and that noise campaign combined with it. I mean, noise campaign. You'd have money to go buy, finish your transaction. You'll have money to go and do or have transactions within that week. Possibly, I would give it within that month, finishing out that month. Whenever the shutdown of all banks occur, you'll probably have a little time to will and deal. But what they're not understanding is, and you know how you can tell when someone is kind of making light of what you're trying to say, because I've gone through this type of I've had these type of conversations with family members before I even knew that I was a target or a chosen child of the Most High God. I had these in-depth conversations with my family members before I knew all of this, or I was in this program. And so, you know, they understand, oh, yeah, yeah, I have some money on me. I have a little bit of money or whatever. Okay? Okay. And I leave it at that. But what they don't understand or truly realize, they may take their money out of the bank, and I have said, take whatever you can out if you have any. Take that out if you have money to operate with. But after that happens, y'all, they will ban money, because they'll realize you still have some way of interacting with each other and using commerce and buying and selling of goods, right? They already know this. They already know this is going to be a shock for the whole United States to have their banks shut down and the teller machines shut down. They already know this. Um, and they already know that you guys think you're smarter than the average bear, that you've gone and you bought, and then, let me say, for the upper echelon, if you bought gold and silver, if you had the opportunity, and I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with buying gold and silver bars and having that, but the government already knows you bought your gold, you're still buying your gold, your silver, you're buying your Bitcoin, you're buying your cryptocurrency, and now some of you guys have those hard wallets that they're talking about, and you're taking your cryptocurrency off of the wherever you bought it from. Say if it was Cash App, I'm hearing that they sell cryptocurrency with that, Cash App. People are pretty much have strayed away from that, because the government has really taken over that with their Fed now. But if you bought cryptocurrency, if you bought these digital assets, and I'm not saying not to buy them, okay? I'm not saying not to buy them. I need to just bring you the full circle, which I couldn't even get to the full circle with this family member, because it's I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid. And I'm not, and that's what I get. And I back up off. I'm not here to make anyone afraid because at this point in time in my life, I'm not afraid of none of this. But I'm older, so some of you guys may still be in your prime and still have aspirations of what I used to have when I was younger. But the world was different back then. Your world is going to look a hell of a lot different from what my world looked like. And the time that I had to actually live out some of the things that I wanted to do, okay, and that I had the opportunity to do, you know. So me saying that I've worked here, or I have this degree, or I have this amount of education, at this point in time in my life, that doesn't phase me anymore, and especially knowing what is ahead of all of you, all of us. And so for you all that may be younger, your outlook on life is different than my outlook on life was and has been. Your outlook on life may be a little different. You may still have or think that you still have the same opportunities, and you may not want to hear what people are telling you because you think that we are pushing fear. Okay, so you may have closed your ears off, and I know I trust me, when I was young at 18, 20, coming through, I was a jitterbug. I didn't want to listen to what people had to say because when you're younger, you think you know it all. You're a know it all. That's what you are. You're a know it all. Um, so y'all might not want to hear. Y'all might be on that team. Don't push fear. Okay, but your government already knows that you're buying cryptocurrency, and you might have a good little deal of crypto. You've got some Bitcoin, locked locked in, and you got your gold and silver, and your other whatever is valuable. That's not the dollar, right? You have liquidated, or you have really cashed in your dollars for some assets, and your government knows this, okay? So you may be sitting on cash in the bank, not wanting to realize what is about to befall the United States of America, the Corporation of America, and not realize that they are going to ban money. So after a particular time frame, money will be banned. Even we already know the value of it is decreasing on the daily. It's basically nothing, worth nothing. Um, but it's going to be banned. Like literally, if you have $1 or $2 in your hand and try to present that for a transaction. They gonna call the popo, and believe you me, if you think there's some Karens and Kens and people that act the fool, and your gang stalkers and your watchers around here, because they gonna catch it the worst. What? Those weirdos are gonna catch it the worst. Um, ooh, they don't see. They are gonna be one of the worst off. People are gonna be reporting people with cash money, with coins and dollar bills. Okay, they're going to be reporting you all. They're gonna call the popo or whoever, and by then it won't be the popo. Oh yeah, you popo who have been bashing people upside the head, who have been a part of the gang stalking program. You police officers, you sheriffs, you deputies, you what? Who else has been a part of it? Well, I'm just gonna say the people who enforce the so-called law of the land, the fake law of the land. All of you gonna catch it. The military, you all are gonna catch it as well. But they're gonna ban your money, and your money is gonna be illegal. So you won't have that option. And while the bank is locked down, You will lose your crypto, um, especially if you still have it on servers that are part of whoever you bought your crypto from, because sometimes those servers are those providers have wallets for you all to store your cryptocurrency in. Hello, hello. How are you doing? Have wallets for you all to store your cryptocurrency in, but it's still on their server. So, but if it's still on that server, you'll be locked out because they want control of everything. They want control of the crypto, the Bitcoin, and their digital asset. However, that's going to roll out. I don't know how they're going to roll out the new digital funds, which they want to put all of us under socialism. So, but nobody wants to hear that. Everybody thinks they have a game plan, right? So that's why I was saying even your, if I could show y'all this chopper that has been following me all freaking day, and look how low this doggone thing is. Look how low. Can y'all see this chopper? This thing has been following me all day. But this one right here, over there, right here. We'll probably circle back around. That thing has been following me all day. For people who will turn this back around, come to these lives. Oh, it done did something to my doggone live stream, y'all. It done did something to my live stream. Ah!
That is so crazy. I aimed the camera at them, and the doggone camera, hold on, y'all, it started acting crazy. It started acting crazy. The insane thing about this all is we, as real target individuals, are showing you what you are going to get ready to encounter, but on a worse level. We are showing you these choppers in the sky. We're not Looney Tunes telling you, yeah, they follow us. Not only do cars and people in stores, literally choppers. But a lot of you guys want to think that we are pushing fear. True targeted individuals are living this life right now, as far as them trying to control every aspect of our lives, right? I mean, every aspect of our lives. Um, so I want you to understand what I wanted my uh, family member to understand. And I've talked to some family members, and I'm going to continue to tell them what I feel and what I know. For sure, it's getting ready to come down the line, because it's going to be off my hands. I have to. I cannot have knowledge or um, um, not just knowledge, not just book knowledge, not just saying, oh, I'm so smart, I'm so intelligent, I'm so, not just knowledge that got people clout back in the day for being so intelligent, right? This is knowledge that truly is. I'm not a scholar, if you will. This is knowledge that is going to affect the well-being, because see, of your life, the rest of your life until you exit, or true destruction comes, or the Most High and Yahweh returns here, and that's rapidos. It's rapidos. It's coming quickly. Okay, and so this is knowledge that I'm trying to, I guess, get them to understand, because I've gone through it, and I want them to be able, just like I want you guys to be able to understand that you have to be able to walk away at any given moment from any situation. You have to start. It's like a memory muscle. Like if you ever wanted to build muscles, you have to work out. You got to work out at it, and your muscle starts to build because it starts to get memory, right? And first, it doesn't have any memory, and it hurts. Have you ever worked out and you haven't worked out in a while, and you take a weight and you're pumping or you're walking, and that first day, and you feel, oh, I mean, you got all this air in your lungs and you feel great. You go home, you're like, yeah, I'm hyped because all of that adrenaline is flowing. And you get home and take a good old shower, bath, and relax. But that next morning, the morning after, the day after tomorrow, which is a good movie you may want to watch. That next morning, since your muscles didn't have memory, your muscles are not aware. They have gone dormant. They have been sleeping of how good it felt to walk and exercise and get all of this extra oxygen into your system. Well, they start to ache, and it hurts, and your body is sore, because it's like, no, it wants to fight you. No, let me go back and sit down on the couch and watch TV and play my video games and just be lazy and lethargic, and not accomplish anything after I've worked in the system and slaved for the man all day. All I want to do is pop a beer and roll a blunt. Some of y'all still smoking blunt, and roll a blunt and lay back, because the man has put me through the ringer all day. I done gave all of my natural resources to the man, all of my knowledge, all of my bronze, and I want to relax. So your muscles want to go back to that routine. What we, as targeted individuals, as chosen ones, we're not trying to push fear. We're trying to build your muscle mass, because it's changing. Do you understand? You have to build yourself up mentally and or physically. And I say and or because some of you might not do the latter, which would be the physical aspects, which should be done, and that includes myself. I need to get on the ball with that as well. Your stamina. Um, we're not pushing fear. We're pushing how to build your muscle. Wake up your muscles, like a lot of you guys have woken up to what's going on in the world. Are you woken up to know that you're a child of the Most High God, right? You woken up to know that you're a child of the Most High God. You need to
A time of
back to a time to where you were you were able to sustain yourself, okay? And when you were able to sustain yourself, you knew how to You knew what plants to eat, what food to get, what plants were good for medicine. These are the things that your muscle, that I'm talking about, building up your muscle, um, in that aspect, okay? Sustainability of yourself. But not only sustainability of yourself, being able to walk away from anything, okay? And that's what I think when you hear people say, stop pushing fear. That is their fear. And that is the fear that your government and the powers that be know that is hiding deep down inside. That's why they pretty much brainwashed you into being consumers and being dependent on maybe a lavish life or a life of leisure, a life of convenience. Because going and finding your own food is not very convenient when you're tired of working in their factories or pulling 12-hour shifts, whatever you may do, or even if it's just your brain power, or they're robbing you of your intellectual content, which people might find like, what? Why do you think they want so many creators on apps? Because they steal intellectual content because they're not able to create. So, like the job I was in, I was the creator at many different levels, and that's a threat. That's a threat. Okay, so if you think about it and you understand that people will have that fear to think about not having their air come on, not having the ability to say, Alexa, turn down the radio, Alexa, or whatever, because they built you up to this level in society. And I'm not even talking about if you're wealthy or if you're rich. I'm just talking about you are here, just you're maintaining. And a lot of people think, well, I got money in the bank. You're maintaining because they're getting ready to bring you down here. Okay, they pumped your head up, they've gassed you up, and they're getting ready to bring you down here. And that's why I say, um, if you start to develop your muscle, your ability to be able to walk away, to be able to flee at the drop of a dime, and flee with whatever you have on, whatever you have, and leave, right? People don't realize that this time is coming upon us. That's what they don't realize. Um, and it's strange. It's strange for me as a person to almost. It's not like I can predict things or anything like that. I'm saying, but to for knowledge to come to me earlier than most. Like I was saying, when I was before I knew I was a targeted individual, before I knew I was being gang stalked and all of this. I remember it was a family gathering. I think we were celebrating because like I said, I was still in the world, right? As far as celebrating holidays. And I had learned about HARP. I had learned about weather modification. All of these different all of these different devices a long time ago. I mean, a long time ago. And now you see people on all these platforms, even before these platforms were, people have established them as big as they are now with TikTok, all these youngsters and all these people, talking about these things as if it just happened, cloud making and all of this. You hear about it now. And I knew about that so many years ago. And I had brought that to my family's attention. And um and I'll never forget it. It was like being in among strangers, if you will. When you're having conversations, and I'm very much the type of person, I enjoy intellectual conversation. I mean, I can go off the cuff and have a sidebar conversation with something minute. It's not gonna make here or there if it happens. Just basic conversation. But at this time of this family gathering, I had come across this information, and I shared this information about HARP and about the cloud, um, how they could make clouds and modify the weather. And like I said, I felt like I was a stranger amongst family, because I'm sharing information, and I'm telling you guys, this is so many. I mean, like 7 longer, probably 10 years prior to now. I knew about all of that harp and the clouds and all that. So I tried to share this information. They all were looking, lost. There's one particular family member that did not look lost. So I'm trying to talk about it in a roundabout way, and then I talk about clouds, and then I talk about harp, and it was almost like gaslighting on the highest level, and or just like scoffing, if I can use that term, on the highest level. It was like a joke. And oh my gosh, you think that God would let man be able to make clouds? And then, they just started going in. But one particular family member said, "Oh yeah, I think it's called harp. Yeah, I know." And then, but they got quiet after they seen how the other family members were going in on me, right? With the jokes and like the picking, like, "Oh my gosh, you just like, I'm just out there. Oh, you're way out there." But now you see, if you go on these TikTok, on these platforms, and you see oh yeah, there's a cloud machine, and this and this of information that I try to share, and not with, I didn't have a platform or anything of that nature at that time, as far as anything more intellectual. Um, but now you see it, and that's because we're in the age of where knowledge has increased, right? And so that's why I know that some of my family members will not receive what I'm telling them now. Just like I tried to give them information before of some things that were happening in this world. But all I can do for them, and what I can do for you all, is share information that I come across, that I understand, um, and just share it with you all. And it will be for you to do what you will with that information. Okay. Oh, the plane. They've been flying over here all day, all night. Yeah. So with the choppers, that just y'all just seen one of the helicopters. It follows me. And y'all see how cloudy it was. I think it's because sometimes they can't pick up the signal or something that well, due to how much they sprayed these chemtrails. And I believe there's a different substance that they've added to the chemtrails, because how the structure of these clouds are and how dense they are. I believe that the choppers really are active. I believe
choppers are more active now than they ever have been because, hold on, guys. Hold on.
Here it comes again. Oh my gosh, can I get it? Oh, I cannot get it. Can I turn it around? I'm not gonna get it in time. Look how low it is. Oh my God. Can y'all see it flying over me? No. OMG. I gotta get out and show you. Let me show y'all. Y'all think I'm playing. They constantly, he just buzzed my head. Literally. Where'd he go? Look how low he is, y'all. Look how low. This chopper just buzzed my head. If I could have got out, y'all would have seen it was right over my head. It's crazy. It's crazy. Let me turn this back around. But like I was saying, oh shoot. Hold on, guys. Oh, wait a minute. Every time. It won't let me go back to the studio. Hold on for a minute. It's up here. General. That's outrageous. Every time it literally buzzes. Hold on for a moment. Oh, I have another light here. Every time it buzzes my head, guys. Can y'all see this light? Can y'all see this light? It's blue. I don't know if y'all can see the color blue on my hand. I'm going to talk about why they're making all the lights blue. I'm going to talk about that too at a later date. But it just buzzed my head, guys. Like I was saying, I think that they have put something in the clouds, and it's making it to where they're having problems tracking us. So you may see more activities regarding the choppers and all of that. I'm gonna move around because he really came low over my head. let's you know what? Let's head to the house, and I'm gonna see if
If y'all could have seen how low that doggone chopper was over my head. But I think there's something in the clouds that is interfering with them tracking us because the chopper has every time it's extremely cloudy, the chopper is extremely active. Uh, I don't know. Trying to forewarn family members, trying to just put a message out there for people, for just whoever can receive it and understand the message, the information. Sometimes I wonder, like, is it even worth it? Are, should I just know the information and not say anything?
you have these I don't know, naysayers, I guess you can say. You'll have naysayers that, like with the choppers. Oh, choppers are, they buzz everyone's head. No, no. These choppers, you trust me. You know if a chopper is, following you. You'll know if a chopper is buzzing directly over your head. Guys, choppers have a distance of flight, right? When they're flying in the sky, their navigational tools are latitude and longitude. They know how high that, I don't want to say legally, like we know how we're supposed to drive. We've gone to classes. You have a driver's license if you're driving a vehicle, right? So we know the rules of the road, right? Do you not know they know the rules of the air and how high they should fly and how low they should fly? And if they're flying low, it would most likely be in a rescue situation for them to have that low of an altitude over somebody. That's not a normal height that someone would fly a chopper that low. The other day it was so low, I seen the shadow of the chopper on the ground as it flew over my car. I seen the shadow of the chopper on the ground. That is extremely low for that to reflect or cast a shadow of the chopper. I'm saying we know rules of the roads. We don't normally speed because you'll get a speeding ticket because it's rules of the road. But sometimes in certain instances you would speed because, say, if you had a pregnant wife and she was about to go into labor or she was in labor in the car. So you might break the rules of the road and speed. So I truly believe they're breaking protocol. And they've been, we know that they've been breaking protocol and laws. They've been laws for their own benefit and to be and take part in this gang stalking. Hold on for a minute. Hold on here. Y'all hold on. Because I'm not finished. Like I said, this is an open conversation. I haven't got to the point about the Cleopatra controversy. I haven't talked about that yet. So I'm going to talk about that in a few minutes. But we can go inside because I'm tired of these choppers buzzing. Hold on. Y'all bear with me for a second. This is, I don't know, so very irritating to know what's coming. And what's coming, y'all are about to hear some noise really quick. I'm about to put you guys on the stick. Turn on the lights. Okay. Like I said, I'm gonna sit you guys down here for a minute because I'm gonna have
Howdy. I not see that. Howdy. How you doing? Y'all chill out right here. Cause I gotta get something else out the car real quick. Cause we're gonna finish up the conversation about their weird, our perps, and all of the people that we listed that fall up under being a perp, and then and then I want to talk about the just something mainstream, and that's it's kind of mainstream, but it deals with history too. So that's why I'm talking about it, and that's the controversy regarding the Cleopatra incident. But y'all hold tight real quick. Why not? You go and watch this on the replay. If I go outside right now, guys, you will see this damn chopper coming my way again, getting ready to buzz over my damn house. And I just got home. Y'all think that I'm lying? You can hear it. You'll see it. You'll see it. Do you see it coming my way? Now, do you see that? Y'all seen it. You can hear it. Buzz the house. That's the third time. That is literally the third time. So tell me, that's not a coincidence. Okay? That is definitely not a coincidence. So now that's part of gang stalking. Like I said, now you got gang stalkers and you just got people who follow you and target you on different levels. But hold on, I'll be right back. I am definitely an enemy of the state. I'll be back. This is an intermission. Y'all know when I talk, I'm long-winded. Come and talk to me. Okay, I know. Hello. I'm back. that was the third time that doggone chopper has since you've been on this live. Buzz me, follow it. It has followed me. Well, first of all, I've always had choppers, drones, all of the tactics some TIs can name. I've had the majority of them all. But I was saying lately that the choppers have been flying very low to the ground when they follow me. And gosh, I wish this thing had a button. Hey, what is this? Who am I on? StreamYard. Can you just make a button on the broadcast side of this to flip back and forth so we don't have to go back into the settings and all that? Make it easier for us to access the camera. Okay, I just want to say that. But y'all, you've seen it in living color. But we as targeted individuals and chosen ones that are targeted, we are the true enemies of the state. You know that movie with Will Smith when he it's called Enemy of the State, where his son has some kind of information in his video game that they knew nothing about. Like they were clueless, like we are clueless. Why are these people doing this? Did it happen from birth? Are we targeted from birth? Are we targeted? We don't know what the hell going on, right? We're guessing. We're coming up with some great assumptions, but to tell you the truth, we have no clue. We know it has to be something we have, right? Like Enemy of the State. It was something them people wanted. It was information that they wanted badly back from Will Smith that his son had in that video game. Back in the day, they had those, what was those video games called with they walked around with it, something boy. But anyway, but he was running, choppers flying over his head. He's trying to get to a man who knew something about what was going on. You know, that professor. Now he wasn't a professor. I can't remember exactly if he worked for the government at one time, but he knew what was going on. And when Will tried to come in and ask him, I don't even know how Will got or even knew how Game Boy. Yeah, that, you know, those Game Boys. His son had the information in a little disc in his Game Boy, right? And so, but the son had put it in. I can't remember how the movie went, but y'all watch that movie. If you're a targeted individual, if you are a chosen one that is targeted, and you're wondering why choppers and people are following you and watching you, and feel like they got walkie-talkies, you might see the Men in Black every now and again. I've had black choppers, but 2 black choppers buzz me at the same time. This is just one chopper. I really couldn't tell what color it was, but it did look like a black chopper, but I ain't gonna say that for sure. Yeah. You have information. You are storing. You have something about you, especially if you're on this level. I'm not talking about, I've gone through all of the levels, all of it. I've talked about, I put it out there. I'm an open book. You can't talk about me, Satan. You know, Satan can only talk about you when they think they know something about you. But when you say it or put it out there, they don't know nothing about you. Know what they do? They make up something about you. And that's what a lot of you guys get, the slander campaigns about you. They make up something about you. They can't find. They done dug all down. Trust me. You talking to individual, they done dug all down in your past. They done pulled up all kind of records and can't find nothing. Nothing that you have not served time for and did your time, or nothing you have never done. You know, but they gonna make you look like you done something, because they gotta make you look like you're the bad one, because you have something they want. And you're like, well, you know, I don't know. And that's us as chosen ones and as targeted individuals. So we're going through this, and it's so. And I say, when I first woke up to it, it was like, it is truly, it is their movie. And they knew, and they know how it was to come about. That's why you have enemy of the state, because that is you. Will Smith is just acting a role, your role, you know. But you're truly living this. It's a nightmare for a lot of us, right? until you realize what is going on. And that's where I was ending, where I left off saying that I try to forewarn, I try to, spread. And like I said, well, I've said in the past, I'm not perfect. I never proclaimed to be perfect. Oh, thank you for the heart. I love purple too. Royalty color too. That goes well with your name. Um, I never proclaimed to be perfect, right? But I'm glad that I am of the age that I am, because it allowed me to grow, right? It allowed me those growing pains. And some people won't get the opportunity to have growing pains. Now, sometimes it's uncomfortable. And like I was talking about, your muscle memory, it's painful to change. And to even to change is extremely painful, especially if you weren't ready for that change. Like, it was painful for a lot of targeted individuals, a lot of chosen ones, to wake up one morning and literally feel like you are in a twilight zone, like you are in some kind of other dimension. Truly, like you are truly in a different dimension. You have shifted. And what's going to sound crazy is, with me, the type of person I am, I am an information junkie. Okay, I just, all types of information I want to understand. I want to hear everyone's point of view. Okay. um and to me, now this is my personal opinion, that is what makes the world beautiful. That is what makes society thriving and productive society, is learning from each other and different ways of living and cultures, and allowing those people to have their point of view, and the way they um, they rear their children, or they cook their foods, instead of wanting to go into somebody's country or be a part of somebody's life and then dominate their life and try to conform. An individual with so much to offer, but for people or countries to go in and dominate and try to manipulate those people and not allow them to express their being and the gifts that they came here with. Um, and that is why uh, I truly believe, you know, you targeted individuals, you chosen ones, and we can move mountains, just with the knowledge and the creativity that we have. And that's why we are so scattered. We are so far apart. But they have siphoned, literally siphoned our intellect, our energy, our, our, for some people's happiness. Just, do you realize some people marvel? You might be like, I have nothing. What is she talking about? I've been poor all my life. I have absolutely nothing. What was that song? I love different movies. I love different genres of music. And one of the movies that I like to watch is, our watch was Coal Miner's Daughter. A lot of y'all might not even might not have never heard of Coal Miner's Daughter, but that was one of the movies that I liked to watch, with Patsy Cline, and she was a country and western singer, and she grew up in Tennessee. I want to say it's Tennessee. Don't quote me on that. Um, is it Tennessee? No, it was Tennessee because I think she went to Nashville. She used to travel to Nashville. Whatever. I don't want to get it all mixed up. But one of her songs was Coal Miner's Daughter. And with country music, we know where the root of music started. But with country music, I like about it because you can truly hear the storyline, the progression in the story within country. I mean, within a lot of music, but some like hip hop, not hip hop, rap just totally went left field, right? When it was such a revolutionary form of music production because it had never really been done before in that from hip hop to rap. Because hip hop and rap is two different genres, right? But she sung coal, and I have to sing because she's like, "Well, I'm proud to be a coal miner's daughter," and she talks about born in a house in Butcher Holler. We were poor, but we had love. That's the one thing my daddy made sure of. Shoveling coal to make a poor man's dollar. So I wanted you to hear that in some of those lyrics because when I was saying you as chosen ones and you as targeted individuals may have been dirt poor, never had nada. And like, why are they targeting me? I had nothing. I was broke. We was out there with the dogs running barefoot, in the yard. Happiness, sheer happiness, is a commodity for these entities, these beings that cannot possess. If you understand anything about a narcissist, they don't have the ability to feel, right? So sheer happiness is and to be able to be happy and to be able to still love and show love or show affection and or caring to someone or animal or nature, that is mind-blowing to someone who thinks that you have to have only riches and substances and possessions to be happy. When you see the people that are rich, and that's one, and I know I know that's why my presence and my job where I was at, it was too much for that atmosphere, because the more you oppress me, I still may go through because the many emotions that I have or whatever the situation may be, but I still process those emotions, right? And then still maintain my ability to be happy, still maintain the ability to be able to love someone else and not to take what the hurt or what I went through and internalize it and project it onto someone else. And that is uh, astounding for these narcissists, because that's what they have to be a part of these type of programs, to oppress people, to do the things that they do to us as chosen ones and target individuals, and not have any compassion, not have any, because you're your own being, okay? um and I say that so those people, if they still, like I said, had an inkling of a chromosome of love, of compassion, of empathy, they would not want to even be a part of it, or it would affect them so much to the point of where you've heard like some police officers commit suicide because they cannot cope with what they've gone through or what they've seen or what they participated in. There were stories of military soldiers during the Vietnam War. And war is first and foremost, we are at war, but the I'm going to just talk about the United States. most of the people here don't realize that we've been at war for a very long time, and we may look like a rich and prosperous country, but our country actually has been at war with their people and have oppressed their people and gave illusions that some people had status or are above other people just to keep them in that oppressive state as well, and the state of fear of losing what they have. That's why they turn into workaholics, just to, and they turn into the boss, pleasers. You may have heard of them as brown nosers and things of that nature to stay at that status, that the breadcrumbs that they have been dished out at that level. They want to maintain that and also get more. But there are some people, like in the military, that are in jobs such as conflicts, wars. And during Vietnam War, we know that, I don't know, how can I say this without getting, the taking of someone's virginity without their will. I guess I could say it like that. Or um, the assault of a female or a male, but mostly females during wartime, because their husbands have been killed. Nobody's there to protect the village or the homes. Okay, so a lot of savagery it happens during that time, and our U.S. soldiers would participate in these type of activities during wartime, where their sergeants or their command would order them to ravage a woman without her will. Okay, um, and some soldiers being so afraid of their superiors, and then also wanting to rise within rank, would take part in ravaging and taking 12-year-olds and young girls, and ravaging them during wartime. And you know what I mean. I'm using ravage besides the other word that we know, that rhymes with rape. Okay. So they would do these things during wartime, listening to a superior order them. Now, mind you, if you just think about a human or a being that has that power, and trust and believe, a lot of people that are your CEOs, and big wigs of companies, the majority of them do are narcissists or possess a high uh, narcissist traits. Okay, um, so your commander, your um, lieutenants, ordering someone to grape someone, ravage them, take their virginity and their their essence of a female without their will. Uh, well, imagine that person wanting to not be alone in the devious deeds that they may have done on their own. You see what I'm saying? So they must have accomplices or have something over others that are within their ranks, right? That's why you hear of all these scandals with these celebrities. And trust me, I'm gonna drop videos about what's going on in Hollywood, weird, and all of your major celebrities, regarding this child trafficking and how they get entangled with this that devious deed. Okay, so in Vietnam, they had sergeants and superiors ordering their troops to do these dastardly deeds to these females and children. And some soldiers did not. So when you're in a military setting, if you don't follow through with an order, then you are, oh my goodness, what is it called? In when you're working, it's called being insubordinate. there's another word for military. I can't. War crimes. Yes, they're war crimes, and it's a war crime exactly. Um, but when a low ranking uh, soldier defies an order from a high ranker, what is it called? It's not, but it's like being insubordinate. Okay, um, I can't. Yeah, so it's like being insubordinate. So they can be, they can get charges for that. So they go to court like it's like an AWOL, not AWOL. AWOL is when they're absent with not coming to duty as they're supposed to. But they can get court-martialed and sent to Guantanamo Bay or different prisons because the military has prisons as well, right? For soldiers that are court-martialed. And so, with that kind of pressure and fear, a lot of them went through with these war crimes. But then they had to come home and they may have gotten away with it, right? Just like the gang stalkers who are police officers now, the gang stalkers who are in organizations such as the military and CIA, the alphabet crew. Um, they're getting away with a lot because they have a covering, a protection, if you will, for their dastardly deeds that they're doing, and they have a protection of not being found out. But some of those people, because you have heard about it. Now, I don't know their particular stories, but I'm just telling you about statistics of a high number of suicides that take place within the police department, right? Because they've gone through things, they've seen things, and they may have done things that went against their core as a soul, and they couldn't live with themselves day in and day out. Because believe it or not, when you do something, when you see something, when you watch things and you hear them, we often talk about portals, CERN, right? CERN trying to bring something into this atmosphere. But your mouth is a portal. Your eyes are portals. Because this is a universe within and of itself, your body, your being. Every hole, every opening is a portal. So that information that you take in doing with any act, and I try to make this plain because this is, you could literally learn this biblically too. Any act sexual, that's why they like to do sexual rituals. Any act, it has a memory. Your DNA, if it's sexual, your eyes and your ears, you won't forget it. It is stored. Okay. So, with that being said, if you're constantly and if, committing dastardly deeds to people, places, or things, if you had just a slight portion of your soul still activated, that will take toll. So either you're on the verge of becoming a retrobate, or you hear about these massive suicides that a lot of police officers go through, firefighters, and people in different and military, and a lot of soldiers, a lot of military people commit suicide. Um, so I just wanted to say that, because the people that are above them, that are ordering this, that are allowing these things to happen to you as a target individual, allowing people to follow you and stalk you, those people that have, uh, even if they don't have the control to have that done, if they even set you up or reported it to whatever group organization that they're affiliated with, to have that done to you, knowing full well they have full what is it called, full cl- um, oh goodness, well, I can't think of the word, full knowledge of what they're doing. If they are a part of a fraternity, sorority, um, Masons, or the alphabet crew, the government, anyone, even if they're on a lower tier, they are aware if they submitted your name to be into or injected into this program, what they're doing. And they will have to pay for that. They will have to pay for that. And I know you may want to see that revenge. And I may want to, but like I said, I'm glad that I am of the age that I am, because I have been able to come or be at peace with a lot of things that I've gone through in life, and going through this program and knowing people are evil, and they're going to do these dastardly deeds, and they think that they somehow will get away with them. They think that they might be able to, like somebody asked me, am I a religious person? Gmail user. Go ahead, Gmail user. Um, am I a religious person? Is there such thing as religion? Because there's such thing as information, and I know that there's information that was passed down through my bloodline and who I am as a person that is part of a nation to guide me through this journey we call life. Now, I know that there are other people who conquered my people, and the only reason they conquered my people is because my people were hard headed and did not follow the Most High God, the one that has created all of the universe and everything within it. And they turned the way we were brought up and taught to live into a religion. Now, you might want to ask someone else who are following the ways of my heritage, are they religious? Because they have changed the way of my upbringing to be religious. It's two different things, you see. Um, so there's so many clues to what is getting ready to transpire as far as what the rest of um, it's going to be the world. But I'm focusing in on the corporation of the United States, um, because, like I said, we have been spoiled from the wealthy, and not say wealthy because I want those include billionaires, from the rich to the poor on the street, lived a life of abundance, and I explained that earlier. How there go the chops. Can y'all hear them? They keep buzzing the house. I want y'all to hear the choppers. That's the fourth time. Um, we have lived a life of abundance, whether you want to believe it or not. And there, the shift is gonna be, it's gonna be abrupt. So all I was trying to get a family member to understand is be ready and build up your muscle, if you will, to be able to be like, to walk away. There's so many stages to their short timeline that they still have of their rulership, and the stages are not, they're not going to be comfortable for a lot of people. They're not going to be man. And I know people think that they have everything in order. I know people think that they have that they are a part of these organizations, and we're in a brotherhood, and we're going to take care of our sisterhood, and we're going to take care of each other. They're about to tear the fabric of all of those organizations apart. They're about to tear the fabric apart that these organizations were built upon, because it's what we call, oh, wait, no, not we, what they call New World Order. New. Someone, Gmail user, which might be a bot, um, asked me, was I religious? These people that are trying to make something new, well, a lot of religious people only like to, when they reference the biblical text known as the Bible, they like to only reference the New Testaments, right? Nothing of the Old Testaments. But see, now from my awakening, I know that that is a way of life for people that I'm a part of that bloodline. Um, it's encompassing of the old and the new way of how their lives transition. But see, what people don't realize that are part of these organizations, that are part of your military, your police force, your fire department, your alphabet, you know, CI, FB, your alphabet group, your sororities, fraternities, and the Masons. What they don't, all those people in those groups that I just mentioned. Well, you see, if you are religious, I'm just going to give you an analogy. If you're a religious person, all of those groups, the fabric of those groups and organizations were built on an old way of life, an old system. And if you would just, allow me to use this as an analogy, that would be considered like the Old Testament. You see, they have a term that they're working on, they're fast tracking to, which is a new, come on, say it with me, new world order. So, see, if you are a religious person like the people of today that practice religion, a lot of those people are focused only on the New Testament. I hope you're following along. So, you see, the fabric of which all of those groups were built, it's tearing apart at the seams as we speak. As we speak. Those are going to tear apart and dissolve away. And no one, not even the new world government, will want to even look back at the organizations and the people who thought they were part of something bigger that actually brought chaos to their own family. And trust me, we're connected in some form or fashion. We're just part of a different nation. But they brought chaos and destruction to their own family in the old way of life, which we're still a part of, transitioning into that new world order. And these people, well, you see, they are as sleep can be. They are as brainwashed can be, because they are still clinging onto a system that is tearing apart at the seams and will be dissolved. And they will be dissolved and washed away like all of us, that they do not want to participate in that new world order. You see, that's why I say it is going to be a shock to the system in all aspects of the word. Those soldiers, the police, even the corrupt police, they're not going to have need for you any longer. You high ranking 33, 33rd, the third, they're not going to have any use for you any longer. I dropped a video about, in my so-called, before when I was a sleep community, Reverend Al Sharpton, we had Jesse coming to the community. We had all of these people that led us, like Dr. Martin Luther King said, I led my people into a burning building. All of them led us into a burning building because they were part of that fabric of the old system of holding your own people down and making a select few of those people in each group, each nation, think that they were a part of something bigger. Hold on for a minute. But they're shortly going to see that they were used. They were used. Because, see, for that new system to take effect, they're going to have to bring soldiers, a new army of individuals who have no compassion, absolutely no regard for this nation. And they're going to be the ones who are going to be kicking down doors, even the doors of you so called people who thought you were covered, thought you had the inside, you know, you thought you had the 411, the knowledge. They're going to be kicking your doors down, along with plenty of people who don't willingly think that they're just going on a field trip to a smart city and just hop on a bus. You're going on a vacation. Oh, where do I? Oh, honey, make sure you bring the Robitussin. You know how my stomach gets. And hop on that bus. There are going to be other people who are like, no, I'm not getting no. They're going to think they're smarter. I don't know. Honey, stay. Don't go on the bus, honey. I'm telling you, don't go. I've been in the military 30 years. I know what I'm talking about. Just sit still. My people gonna come, but we got a plan. We got a plan. Just sit still. Okay? I done carried out many missions, abroad and civilian. You know, I know about homeland security. They're gonna kick your doors down too. And they might not even try to drag you to the camps. Mm-mm. No, you might not make it to the camps. You know a little bit too much. Your training is like, you might get in them camps and want to get militant and train up some of those civilians. No, they might not even take you to the camps. You police officers know a little bit too much. Yeah, you might not make it to the camps. You might make it to the ditch. Those massive, you know, I don't even think they're going to be graves. I think they have some black coffins that I think they about 12 bodies can fit in one. Yeah, I think they store them at a particular store. They house them at some store. I think you might wind up there. You know, you 33 degrees. You know a little bit too much. We can't bring you into the new world. You are part of the Old Testament. We are creating a new world. And we have brought super soldiers from other countries here. They're already here. I talked to you about those sleeper cells, right? They're already here. Matter of fact, they're bringing their own military equipment. It's already here. Those are going to be the ones breaking down the doors. Those are the ones being trained on these military choppers and probably the ones buzzing over our heads right now as targeted individuals. But you people of society who think you have policed us and taken part in this gang stalking and homeland security of people, of innocent people, you soon will see your government had no love for you either. They only have love for self preservation. And if you are not of their bloodline, well, this was your heaven. For soon you will see hell. So enjoy, because you truly have played the fool. They're going to bring in your robot dogs and your robot soldiers and everybody besides you. You just did the groundwork, you know. You were the foot soldiers to the beginning of their new world order. And they will no longer need you once these people are established in the places that they want them to be established in, so that they can continue to drain them like a Duracell battery. But most definitely, they won't need you. Yeah. Enjoy your short time, for it is very short. But like I said earlier, you try to forewarn your family what is to come. They truly do not understand. Although they may have participated in church for many years, they don't understand what is truly coming upon this planet. Um, and it's not going to be pretty. Growing pain, birth is not a pretty sight. You know, for them, they think it's going to bring forth a beautiful new way of life, in a more abundant way of life for them, but only for a short time. But to get to that way of life, there must be destruction. People think that you're just rolling off the top of your tongue. Anarchy must come. Because they can sit back and watch on their huge, big, wide, flat screen TV how soldiers march into their cities or cities of third world countries and treat their citizens like it's a movie on TV and think that that would never take place here. I'm a millionaire. That would never happen to me. When you're going to see millionaires groveling in the streets, suicides at an all-time high, when they realize they have truly worked themselves to death and not have died, to realize they have been drained like a Duracell battery. They will no longer need you to manage and, you know, crack the whip in the offices and no, 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 no. For you see, your AI will handle every administrative skill possible. But people who look at our videos, if you're a targeted individual and you talk about these things, being, you know, activities happening to you like enemy of the state, like the movie, who would who would care about you? You're not on. What kind of level do you think you're on? You know, The Game. There was a movie called The Game with what was that actor's name? Ugh, I can see his face. I can't. But he was a rich, wealthy man. And they stripped everything from him, played with him, had him just, you know, it turned his life upside down. And I'm not talking about trading places. It's literally a movie called The Game. Turns his life upside down. Until I don't forget, I think he was in a helicopter and fell. They pushed him out of the helicopter to make him think he was going to die. And he fell through like a breakaway glass ceiling onto one of those. You know how when they try to rescue someone from a high rise building, they have that big blown up, I don't know, rescue pillow, if you will, and people fall on that and it breaks their fall to save them. Richard, no, what was that man's name? I can't remember. He falls to the breakaway ceiling and lands on the cushion, and then it goes down and the lights come up because he thinks he's in a dark room, if I can remember the movie right, at the end of the movie. And the lights come up and he's just in a panic. He's just flustered. He has gone through it like a targeted individual, right? But this man was wealthy. You know, wealthy people, their livelihood is all they feel that they are. For the majority, I'm speaking in general. So the lights come up, and it's surprise. It was all part of a big birthday prank. And when he finally ended the whole process of torture, a mental agony, and being pushed to his death out of a helicopter, so he thought, to end up on a cushion, and the lights come on and everybody's dressed in their finery, yelling surprise, ha ha. Everybody thought it was funny, but him, ha ha ha. Wasn't that the funniest joke ever? We just took your life and just turned it all the way around. Surprise. Now let's go back to normal when there's no such thing as normal anymore. That's a movie you should check out too. The Game. That's what they're playing with us. The Game. All of these movies, I tell you, if they all have a message because they all have to be accountable, and it is their form of telling you so they won't be held liable for anything to come back on them. So they tell you in these movies, and people try to tell you over and over and over again, and a lot of people won't wake up. A lot of your family members will not wake up, will not hear it until later. And then when later passes, I heard that from someone. And you're sitting right there, and they know they heard it from you, but they won't acknowledge that they heard it from you, or don't worry about it. Don't worry about none of that. I say, if you have information that you can share with them to let them know what time they are actually living in, and that everything is speeding up, everything is changing, and it'll be off your hands because you let them know. All right. I never seen that. Oh, that's part of, yes. When I was talking earlier about insubordination, but this is what it is in military derelict, dereliction of duty. Y'all, my eyes starting to blur, and then y'all know what's up. The divine nine is around to protect the people who run the world. Who are the divine nine? Are those the families? Thought it was 10 families. If you're talking about the families, um, first of all, let's break it down. You're talking about the families that run the world, from the British families to, and all of them are related. And let me tell you why. Because they've all practiced incest. They all practice, uh, what is it called? Well, it's incest, but it's called something, where they try to keep the bloodline pure within the family. So they practice these things, right? Sleeping or trying to keep that bloodline in the family. Um, and then, oh, goodness, it's called something else. When they only hire the people that are their siblings, their daughters, their sons. What is it's a word. It's the word, y'all. I can't think of it. But they only hire the people who the people up top. I'm not talking about there's insubordinate people that think the insubordinate people may be millionaires, maybe a couple of billionaires. Those are insubordinate people, guys. Those are insubordinate people. Uh, the people that have all of it on lock. Those are the ones where the Americans, we $1 trillion in debt. Our budget has collapsed. We're trillions. These are trillionaires and beyond. Okay. They truly want all of the resources, the grains, the minerals, everything, everything, everything. Those people, those bloodlines, they have practiced incest. They practice, you know, doing certain rituals to keep their youth, and to keep their power in a structure that we know, like our presidents, all of them are related. Every single president is related through the blood. Come on now. They only hire people in certain positions. Nepotism. I think it's called nepotism. Just came to me. Look it up. Oh, somebody else said it right here. Thank you. Thank you. Nepotism. Did you just send that to me? Because I wasn't even looking. I was looking this way. I think you gave me some telepathy. Because I sure was looking that way. You had it up here. Nepotism. There you go. Nepotism. They only hired their blood. So that's why I say people, if they not, if first of all, if you had to join, let me say this again. If you had to join an organization to get any status that you have right now, you are not the one. You are not the father, the baby mama, or the baby. You are not it. If you had to join an organization to be a part of something that possessed power, that in your minuscule mind, you thought you were joining something to gain or establish you and give you power and authority to reign, to move, to slide in this society, you already lost. You already lost. These people don't join nothing to be a part of. They might join something just so they have what is it called? Y'all, I'm gonna say what is it called until it comes to me. But prestige. But they already have it through their bloodline that they're trying to. It can't be pure because after so much incest, then you start having retardation and so on and so forth. But their bloodline, like you would say, all the presidents are related. Yes, even Obama through his mama. Even Obama through his mama was related to all the presidents, because y'all know he was a black president, wasn't he? His mama was German or I think she was German or straight. I don't remember all of I know that's right. It's an effect. Yeah. All that's bloodline, baby. So if you aren't in the, okay, hold on. I gotta go check something. Yeah, hold tight. Oh, okay. So yeah, so if you had to join something to think that you were gonna blow up, nah. Yeah, you gonna blow up all right. Mm-hmm. You gonna blow up. You gonna blow up all right. Just like all them celebrities getting busted and disgusted and dying off, and the time, baby, and the ooh, mm, 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 mm. That's why I like to look. I would sit in the parking lot and just look at them gang stalkers. Be like, look at you, look at you. You think you private eye? What was that? What was that private eye thing called? They think they like literally like a private eye, like they doing something. I'm like, you are working. You truly are working for the man. The man don't care nothing about you. Don't care if you part of their groups or nothing. Only reason why they like the presidents. You might say, well, Nicole, the presidents all have been in bones and skulls, or skulls and bones, or whatever that secret society is. They don't need to be a part of that secret society, first and foremost. That's just like a little ritual to be in the presidency, and also for them schools, because half of those schools are oh, there you go. Thank you. You know what I was talking about. Oh goodness. They just want to be like they're like Harvard and Yale and Princeton and Brown. All these are elite schools that are part of these families. Honey, it's all so they have their little groups and their little y'all been played. Woo! Oh Lord have mercy. So y'all down here on these lower levels, oh, think y'all doing something. I'm a Mason. Yeah, I'm almost 33rd degree. I don't know who I'm gonna sacrifice. Think about it might be Uncle Bob, but they might Uncle Bob might not be the right candidate. I don't know who you stupid stuff. And these people playing up here. These people up here for real, for real. You think they trying to let you be a part of that? You are the fabric of the old world, honeys. You are the fabric of the old world. They're not taking you into the new world with them. Their new world. I'm talking about the ones that run the world right now. They're not taking. And let me tell you something. And y'all, and this is gonna lead me into Cleopatra because I've been on here. Y'all know I'll be long-winded when I come on here and have y'all talks. Ivy League schools. That's right. Them Ivy League schools all of them are owned by the upper echelons. And all of the Ivy League schools, yes, they do have the Skull and Bones and all these organizations, but it's all a part of they organizations, what they created. And y'all are knockoffs. Y'all like going to Ross. The Masons ain't nothing but a Ross and a Debs. y'all knockoffs to what they already have established. Y'all think y'all doing so? I'm a Mason. I am a Eastern Star. I am a Alpha. I am a Delta. I'm a police officer, and I have been here for 30 years. And you know, because they have to pledge. You know, all the ones that have to pledge to do it. Let me tell you, something, I ain't never had to pledge to work nowhere. All them pledges, Army pledges. You ain't supposed to be pledging to nobody. But see, y'all all is knockoffs to what they are. Y'all keep doing it. The ones that watching y'all, I know. Hey, how you doing? How your mama doing? I know you still think you part of something. I know the psychosis and the what is it called? Uh, uh, when you can't separate reality from you disassociation because you think you something. You're part of the old world, old fabric. You just old rags, but you think you something. And these people been playing with you, and they tell you to watch all them. Oh, watch any kind of criminal movie. What they do with even bank heisters, they turn on each other. Criminals they ain't got no loyalty, and you a criminal. And the only criminals that got loyalty is the ones who made the game plan. Did you make the game plan? No, you just part of the plan. And you about to get got like you think you doing us. They doing you. But they pumping your head up because they done gave you, a little status. Disillusion. Who is this helping me out tonight? I sure appreciate them giggles. This is where it's at. I sure appreciate you helping me, honey, because, honey, you know how us is chosen ones. They sure try to keep us blocked. They try to block your dreams, try to block all that, because they know. They know, they've been on me hard. I've been in spiritual warfare. They don't want me to see, like I saw about Michigan, honey. When I saw that, y'all, I was, yes, so. And I said I was going to transition and talk about Cleopatra and the drama. Let me tell y'all something. Y'all about to come into, I don't know what your gifts are, but I tell you, when I had that vision about Michigan, and it was clear as day, I was flying, like literally, I knew I was in the air flying. I saw Michigan, and when that train, it's clear as day. It's like I went through like they keep talking about portals and stuff. Child, I know they be blocking. And it wasn't even a dream. It's just the fact that I just vision. Because visions are like you just like I'm sitting here and I can go into a vision, the Most High. Now let me tell you something, because I don't want y'all to get it twisted. Because a lot of people get it twisted. Visions are from the Most High, right? I don't have to do no hocus pocus. You look around my vicinity right now. Ain't got no charms, no feathers shaking, no dice, no monkey feet. I ain't got none of that. When you gotta use all the monkey feet and the blood of 10 village children to come up and see something, that's witchcraft. That is magic. But when the Most High God shows you something, and you're just sitting there, or you are waking up from a dream or in a dream state and have not done nothing to cause it. I'm talking about nothing as far as a drug, algasta, it's some kind of drug, I think, in the rainforest or something. People go to these trips to take to hallucinate, to see. No, I'm talking about when the Most High God wants to show you something, He's going to show you something without nothing, because that's the power of the Most High. And that's what happened when I saw Michigan that day. And that kind of scary when that has never happened to you. So, uh, yeah, I ain't gonna go too. I'm gonna leave it right there. So, but yeah, they do all kind of things, y'all, and I don't. It's hmm. The end results are gonna be totally amazing if you can hold fast, steadfast. The end results going to be amazing, but it's going to be a bumpy ride, and I mean it's going to be a horrifying ride. And so what I'm going to do for you guys is I used to like kind of put movies together, my version of a movie with my limited skill set production. But I like to do it. I like to make it kind of fun and interesting for you guys. But I said that I wanted to. I wish that I could show you what is getting ready to come. And see, Holly Weird has done some productions that I'm going to take some clips from. Hopefully, if I put them up and you get to see them, good, kudos. But sometimes if I put them up and it might get a strike, I have to, or not a strike, well, something, a hit, I would have to take it down. Um, but there's a movie that I seen, some clips that I seen on the TikTok. When I say y'all men, not I, what I know from reading the word, men are going to faint when they see what is to come on this earth. There is a movie that shows that reenacts about these demons that are released. And I dropped video. Y'all don't be looking at them, but it's okay. Somebody gonna see them. Somebody who needs to see them is gonna see them. The Euphrates River has dried up. Um, and so I don't know when these demons are going to be released, but there are demons that have been bound under the Euphrates River that are going to come up. Well, this movie came out and it shows these demons that are have been released. Baby, if I got to tell you, nowhere to run to, baby. And people think that it's like Hansel and Gretel. It's just um, a child's fairy tale, you know. Demons. Oh, there she goes. Oh, there she goes talking about demons. How about monsters? Should I say monsters? You're gonna see monsters because demons just sounds too biblical, too religious for you, right? Because they done built your head up. They did us all dirty with religion and all that, right? I know. But demons, like I dropped a video about. It's a lot of people that are having videos showing ordinary people talking on their security cameras, talking to people, And so I assume that, like the one I dropped today, the security guard talking to two children. So the people who are watching the security guard in this hospital, or wherever it looked like a hospital, bring some balloons up to the children. I assume his coworkers asked him, "Who are you talking to?" Um, and they realized, as he realized once he went to watch the video, that there was nobody there. But he saw two children and masquerading spirits, mind you, demons, masquerading demons. Spirits might sound a little more tame, a little more easy for your soul, to settle you in, right? Masquerading as children. The ones that masquerade as your grandmother, your grandfather, your uncle, your passed away relatives. I know you shook. The con artists, they are masquerading as children. Why do you think they must masquerade? Why would they do that? Why would they act like children or your uncle or your cousin for an agreement? If you get in your head, this is we are in the world of contracts, everything. And they got that from the Most High God. Covenant, contract. Get that in your head. Covenant, contract, agreement. You cannot do anything without anyone's agreement, contract, unless you trick them. Well, then that's a dirty contract, isn't it? That's null and void in most courts, in the court of the Most High God, too. But yet and still, when you deal with evil, it doesn't matter because their reign is now, right? So a masquerading spirit doesn't mind masquerading as a child so that it can get you to come into a contract with them. Oh, they told you in fairy tales, right? To get you to talk and agree and exchange. And then you entered into a contract. Love and hug on your grandma who's passed away. Eat. Oh, you're in a dream. You're eating some food in the dream from your grandmother who passed away. Isn't it great to see grandmother? You wake up and you relay the story of a feast you had with your grandmother in a dream. Well, you just entered a contract. Yes, but I was dreaming. The dream world, the spiritual world, if you will, is more real than this, what you see around me. But you've entered into a contract in the spiritual realm, which must manifest into the awakening world, this fake world, this simulation, this hologram that we are in. And you see it must come forth. And you had a lovely dinner with your grandmother, but that contract was hidden, and the details and the fine print of that fine crack within the fine crack, fine fine print of the contract was hidden in that dream in the spiritual realm. And it wasn't a nice dinner. It wasn't a nice dinner that you had. Matter of fact, when you awaken into this illusion and have to live out because your spirit is trapped in this shell that we are in, that contract turns into murder. Maybe you agree to murder. So you now have a spirit of murder. You don't know what they are hiding and what they are trying to get you in contract, but that's going to a whole different subject that I don't want to get you guys. I want to take you down that route. Um, yeah, but I have to finish. I wanted to finish up. Hold on, Cleopatra. Hold on for a minute. I know I was talking. I'm going to bring you guys over here while this charges up, because I'm going to finish up about Miss Cleopatra and the controversy, because I'll go into contracts in about the spiritual realm and get off track, which I did anyway. So hold on. Let me plug y'all up real quick. Okay, so let me finish up this discussion with the controversy about Cleopatra. So they're making well, there is, it's already done. Production is finished. It's on Netflix. I cannot talk. I've been talking too much. Um, and so it's about Cleopatra. And so some of you may, if you're on social media, you may have seen where a lot of Egyptians are the Egyptians that you know of today are mad. They're upset because Cleopatra is a black woman in this new documentary, and it's a docu-film, if you will. I don't know. And I think Jada Pinkett Smith produced this movie, and so you have a lot of Egyptians mad, and I had talked about this a while, and I think maybe a live back, one or two lives back, regarding um, genes, right? And so with Cleopatra, and the reason why the Egyptians are mad is because she's portrayed as a black woman, which I'm just saying black woman just to be general, but she's a black woman. And so they're trying to show all these pictures of them as we know Egypt. I'm trying to be trying to choose my words wisely here. We know that Egyptians, their skin complexion is a caramel color, right, with almost straight hair, or some of them have like a wavy texture to their hair. They almost favor what they so call the Middle Eastern people a little bit. That caramel complexion and that hair structure. So they're upset that Cleopatra is being played by a black woman, and so you see on social media a firestorm where they're saying that black people are trying to. I had never heard of this term before, but they're trying to blackwash history. They're trying to blackwash their history. This is gonna when I saw that, when I read that, because I was just reading different people's this is so low. I feel like I'm looking down. When I was reading what people were saying about blackwash, I said, how can we blackwash history when history was literally whitewashed from, um and so I'm gonna talk about it. And so I know some people may get upset, but so I heard this term blackwash, and they were saying that history, that's their history. And if anyone, and especially in the year 2023, should know or have the understanding that Egypt is in Africa. Let me turn around and sit. Egypt, first and foremost, is in Africa. Just like the Middle East is in Africa, they divided it and said that this is the Middle East. But in actuality, that is also part of Africa. Okay? There's no such thing as the Middle East. But anyway, just like there's no such thing as the United America, right? Or Africa, really the name Africa. if we want to get technical. Um, and so, what I don't understand for these people to be in such a uproar about the Cleopatra movie and her being black in this movie, and them saying to blackwash. This is a new term I have just heard about. You may know about it. I don't. They want to blackwash Egyptian history, and take their history from them. And so it took me aback to know that these people that are Egypt are that are in Egypt now, the people of Egypt now, present Egypt, don't know their true history, and that they don't know that Egypt's real name, the real name of Egypt was Kemet. And so I'm looking and reading these comments, and the outright anger that these people possess. These and the Carmel people with the straight hair, the Egyptian that we think that we thought were the true Egyptians. They might have parts of the bloodline, but I'm gonna get into that because I talked about this in a live a couple of weeks ago. An aspect of this very thing in a live a couple of weeks ago. Uh, so they're pissed the hell off. They're upset because black folks is trying to take their history when they don't even know their true history. They don't even know the fact that Egypt is Kemet. That's the original name. And Kemet, the meaning of Kemet is the land of the blacks. And that's literally because their skin tone was as dark as mine, or darker. Even when you look at the hieroglyphs on the wall, you see that they even depicted the people's working in the fields and living in that land, right? As my complexion, and even knowing, now I'm way over here in the United States of the corporation of the United States of America. I know that Egypt's name is Kemet. And I know that that means land of the blacks. And they were literally referring to black folk. Okay? Not as we know black folks as America has labeled them. Okay? I'm going by the hieroglyphics on the wall and the skin complexions that they depicted. Now I know it went from light to dark, from dark to light people. And when I'm reading this, and I know my channel is not for people who are, I'm not here for I'm not here for yes men on my channel. I don't need yes men. You have an opinion and you can state it and we can have a discussion about it, or you can leave because you're pissed off, because you don't want to hear facts, right? You can never, ever get dark from this color. Well, white or white, okay? Let me see. Let me find something white. From this top, white. You can never pull, when you're trying to pull different colors out, this is just a lesson. You can never pull a dark color from white, because white is a recessive gene. We can be, you can pull color and lighten color from us, right? But you can never pull dark from white. You can pull white, brown, caramel. It can go on and on and on. When you take a paintbrush, take black, dip it in a paintbrush, take a little bit of white and mix it in, and you get the black will get a little lighter and a little lighter and a little lighter and a little lighter and a little lighter. The less black you have, the lighter the white color will start to turn. Okay? because you can't go the opposite way and take a white paintbrush or white paint and take white paint and mix it in and get dark and get darker and get darker and can get darker. It doesn't work that way. And the only way that you can have an anomaly, something out of the norm from a couple that may be white and have a black baby that has been heard of is because that gene already presented itself in whomever, the male or the female. Somebody had a little soul in their system, in the records that we know as DNA. That is the only way that that can happen. That's like having an albino baby, the babies that don't have no color. Well, you can have that in a white child, and you can have that in a parents that have black children. But that's an anomaly. That doesn't happen all the time. Okay, so now that that's it, we know that Egypt was Kemet. Kemet was known for the land of the blacks, and Egypt is in Africa. And so the Egyptians that are there now are highly upset that finally that there's a movie that is actually showing, and we don't know how she actually looks, Cleopatra. And I think a lot of people are upset because the myth is that Cleopatra was such a beautiful woman, the myth. But if you read further down, she was an average woman, average looking woman. Her beauty came from within. She was a knowledgeable woman. Well, her poise and her intelligence and her wit and all of that, it came from within outward that made her mesmerizing, you see. So I think that this is my opinion, that they're a little upset because of the myth that Cleopatra was such a beautiful woman, and they must withhold that beauty standard for themselves. And I'm talking about the children of the watered down race that we know as Egyptians that are over in Egypt now. The further that they dig in Egypt and the tombs that they resume, they have tried to do the reconstruction of mummies, and they did it with, the watered down look. They did it to accommodate their narrative. But now that we have, CT scans and actual skull scans, see, all of us as a people, our bone structure is not the same. Our bone density is not the same. One moment. Okay. So our bone structure is not the same. Our bone density is not the same. So when they first did these reconstruction of skulls that they found, they did flesh. I forget the terminology that they use for it. Forgive me, but it is like they took like rods and put in certain areas on the skull, and then they built up the clay. And that was how they determined that this is how the skull looks. But they put the lighter clay on the Egyptian skulls. When in actuality, that is not how the Egyptian, whatever, I can't remember what skull they were reconstruction at the time looked like. And they just redid it not too long ago. Y'all have to research this. Just don't take my word. Research what I'm telling you. So they just redid it, and then they did one of those scans, and with the density and the thickness of the skull, and realized it was Negroid. Okay, and so this is the shock that is going to go around the world. And the thing is, it shouldn't be so shocking to the people of Egypt, although their skin is a lighter color, right? You would think that that wouldn't be such a shock, or it wouldn't ruffle their feathers or make them so upset to understand that the ancestors that they claim as their ancestors were of a darker hue of people. Okay, and this is what I can't understand, but it is it reminds me. Now, this is where people might get a little upset. The disillusion. It reminds me, the people of Egypt now that are totally upset about this new movie of Cleopatra and her being black. And we know as black folks, and let me tell you something, I love watching some movies with Elizabeth Taylor in them. Because Elizabeth Taylor was a beautiful white woman. Ain't nobody you can't take somebody. You can't just because you a hater. You might be a hater. You might not say, oh, she white, she ain't pretty or something. But I'm not a hater. So Elizabeth Taylor played Cleopatra. Elizabeth Taylor, a beautiful white woman. Okay, the majority of society would say Elizabeth Taylor was a beautiful white woman. Marilyn Monroe, beautiful white woman. I can go on and on, right? But we know Elizabeth Taylor played Cleopatra. And these were lies and propaganda that was done purposely to deceive and confuse masses of people. I hope I stay on track. In World War, I can't talk, I need something. 2, literature would be, planes would fly over cities and stuff, and then pamphlets would be thrown out onto the cities to inform people of information. Because during wartime, just like now, if you're paying attention, I told you and other people have told you, and information is being slowly shut down, slowly but surely cut off. That is to control the narrative of the people that are trapped in whatever war zone that you're in. And so literature would be thrown out to help the people of Germany understand the war was over, because they didn't know. Some people didn't know because of literature, of mind control, that the people who ran the government only allowed certain information out. So if certain information is only allowed out and you're locked down, you'll start to believe. You'll start to have the delusion of the inclusion that what the government is telling you is real. Because what people that we appoint, that you think that you appoint, would cause harm to you. So this is a way of brainwashing. So they would have, fly over, and these pamphlets would be, leaflets would be dropped down to, disperse information. Just like in Texas, with Texas, we were the last state. You might have heard of a celebration that they do here called Juneteenth. Okay, that celebration here in Texas is because the slaves here in Texas were the last to know that they were set free. They were still working as slaves, although it had been declared that they were set free. Well, all of it's an illusion, as it's just a bunch of BS. But I'm just trying to break it down how they had it, how it went down. Texas slaves here were the last to know. So this is why the Juneteenth celebration occurs, because it's a celebration that the slaves here in Texas were aware, because information came, they broke through the line, okay, from the outer states to make the slaves aware in Texas that they were actually free and not slaves, although the people in Texas were still using them as slaves. Same scenario as Germany. They thought they were still at war. Information is powerful, okay? Because information will always control the narrative. So, and I don't want to go back to this, but I will. I'm going to touch base on what I talked about in an earlier broadcast. The delusion, and not the excitement that the Egyptian people of today would have, that it was not a white woman. Now, and that's why I brought up Elizabeth Taylor. She was beautiful and she rocked her role as Cleopatra, but nevertheless, they would not have made it in the hot, burning suns of the equator sun, because that we know Africa is on the equator, the hottest point of the planet. They would now see, this is how sleep and delusional we all were, because we were taught by people who didn't teach us nothing but propaganda, lies. And you all think that you are so always so intelligent, scholarly, but a lot of you and a lot of us are visual learners, because you learn visually through movies. So they brought you Cleopatra as Elizabeth Taylor, and not you being able to use any knowledge, knowing that Egypt sounds so majestic. Egypt, 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 not Africa. If they would have said Africa, 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 you see, that wouldn't have been the same as Egypt. Egypt, oh my gosh, Egypt is so majestic, but it's in Africa, the hottest point on the equator. Go back. I'm sure it's on YouTube, and look up that movie. Moses, I think it's called just simply Moses, with Elizabeth Taylor and I can't remember the white guy's name. All whites, all white, all white. This is educational. So you take it how you want to take it, or you leave it how you want to leave it, and stay asleep if you want to be asleep. All white cast. Brainwashing at its finest. It's a great movie. But you had an all white cast playing slaves and rulers in a land closest to the equator with pigment that can't stand to be out in the open environment known as, especially, the sun for more than an hour to 30 minutes without blistering. Come on, we need to wake up. Without blistering, literal first and second and third degree burns from the sun. And then the sun that we know in Texas is hot. Okay, we can get up to 100, and we're not on the equator, the hottest part, the hottest area of the world. We're not there, and I'm in Texas. You're not there in Missouri, but it can get hot in Missouri. Yeah, because I'm talking to my Edomites, my otherwise known as white folk. It can get hot in Colorado. Yes, even in the wintertime when they have blizzards, because I lived in Colorado Springs. It can get hot too. No sunscreen. We're talking about ancient times. Propaganda. You make a movie, and you make that movie based on a whole white staff cast, and you place this all white staff in an ancient time on the equator of Mother Africa, and say they were the rulers. And this plays over and over for years, decades, damn near millennia. Because if you like black and whites, yeah, it's still out there. Propaganda. Now I had to tell you this for you to understand the delusion that they have put into people's mind for the inclusion of control of masses. Okay? So now you have over in Egypt, present day, caramel color, Egyptians, right? Caramel, light-skinned black folks, okay? Light-skinned black folks you have in Egypt today. But they have straighter hair, or they might have a little curl, but it's a different texture, right? Delusion. And so these people are upset because the newest movie is a black woman playing a role that she's meant to play, that she could have well lived in Egypt because the land was called the land of the blacks. Her skin was made for that type of atmosphere. This is nothing that they're trying to push or blackwash, as these Egyptians are saying. That is not logical. You see, some people nowadays have a problem with really coping with logic. They'd rather still enjoy the crazy, delusional fruit as Elizabeth Taylor being, you know, uh, Cleopatra, knowing her skin wouldn't last 30 minutes in that sun in those days. Even in these days, tell you the truth. Even with the people of Egypt, knowing that their skin cancer rates, and I Googled this, I had to look it up because I even know the skin cancer rates of the people of uh, uh, Israel skyrocketing because they're in regions of a plane that is not meant for their skin type. So the Egyptians are dealing with a high rocketing count for skin cancer due to sun exposure. Okay, I'm talking about. I just can't understand. Do you want to just be mad and live in crazy land, or do you want to wake up and know that you've been lied to? The further they dig, whether it be here in America, or whether it be in Africa, or whether it be in Europe, the further down in the dirt that they dig, the blacker the people are. The bones, literal bones that they are able to bring up and do their testing on and their DNA on, are black people. well, just for reference sake, aka otherwise known as black folks. But we have people that are so mad and want to live in a delusional world, just like the world that they're creating now with your pronoun people. Oh, I know I'm probably going to get it. With your pronoun people, the delusion is real. We have a people that instead of working on issues that may have triggered some emotions to want them to be other than what they were born as, you see, now want the world. Now, I just gave you how this went down in Egypt. And how, well, I didn't give you the whitewash. Well, basically the, how can I say, the trying to be careful because folks, so some folks they barely wake it up. I don't want them to give them a nightmare. Okay. the hmm, not the whitewashing. I don't want to say the whitewashing as far as the people. I want to say the what happens when you dilute the diluting of the people, and the diluting of the people and their complexion, and it also diluted their ability to reason and their ability and who they relate to. And this is so hard. This subject is really so hard for people to really understand, because the people that can't understand it are people that still in their heart of hearts want to be dominant over the masses or feel connected to the dominant race over the masses, if they are truly honest with themselves. But most likely they won't be honest with themselves. These type of people will say, I don't see color. And I'm saying color because how we were taught in these schools of uneducation, right? We were taught people as colors. Okay. We know there's different hues and deeper pigmentation to people, but we know them as colors. So these people that want to be in the inclusion or close to the inclusion of the dominant parties that rule the world right now are under the delusion that they are a different people, and they can't understand that the people that they want to hate so much are the original people. People love to say, I want something organic, except for black folk. Now, I say it's a delusion, and it's the same type of delusion that's taking place with these pronoun people. Because, see, now it wasn't enough. You have to see the slippery slope that takes effect when you start to slip into the world of delusion. Okay? It wasn't enough to be called, back in my day, they called them drag queens. You know, and it was entertaining. They dress up like your favorite celebrity and sing, Dolly Parton, or and it was like, wow, oh, that's a man. Oh my gosh, it was a shock effect to it, not knowing that they had put us on a slippery slope of delusion. So it was drag queens back in my day. Then it was trans. Then you went from trans. This is the slippery slope of delusion that now we see the people in Egypt are dealing with, because they can't deal with who their ancestors, what, no, who, not who, what their ancestors look like and the dark melanin that their ancestors possess. So they look more like a negroid than they want them to. So this slippery slope that we're on now, going from you know, transvestite to trans, you know, they might go in and get a couple of things chopped off, rearrange, to now changing our very structure of the bastard language we know as the English language, the word spell language, the witchcraft book of language that we know, that we have learned. They want to even go in and change that as well, because that's not enough to be able to go in and get some injections of estrogen and, you know, change me a little, get me a little more softer in the hips and rearrange. Now they want to take over your alphabets, your literal alphabets. And now there's no such thing as a woman or a man. It's whatever. I will say too much. But they have pronouns that they want to go by now. And expect you, yes, very much so, a war on women. Yes, very much so. And expect for you to call them by their pronouns. And we'll call the popo, we'll get upset, we'll take you to court because you do not address them or you want to service them because of your beliefs and being in the right mind that you know that you are at the time that you refuse to engage in their delusion and the help that they need. You can be mad, but there is like this is where it's at. There's a war on women. You see, and so this delusion continues to where, oh, now, yes, I am. I got my pronouns. I got my sex change. I can change everything, but you know what? The bathrooms. I'm pissed off on the public bathrooms. All public bathrooms. I need to be able to go into any one I choose. It's my world. There's no such thing as a man or a woman. Who says there's such a thing as a man or a woman? Who says? I need the bathrooms to be flowing. I need to be, you know, one day I might forget, I had all my boy clothes and I might need to just go in the boys' bathroom, and if it's too busy, I might want to go in the girls' bathroom. Oh, I know it sounds so harsh. You're not compassionate, Nicole. I'm trying to get you to understand about delusion and not working on self-healing. And not working on self-healing. So we're on a delusional roller coaster. Back in the day, they had those carnivals that came to town, and you can go on the wall of mirrors, the crazy house. You don't know. Oh, you done bumped your head into a damn mirror because you thought it was an out, but that was a pronoun that should have been over here. No, that's an open bathroom that should have been over here. You're in the wall of mirrors. Don't know where to go. Now they got drag queens in your school. Well, no, not drag queens. They might just be what their pronouns are that day that they attend. Reading nursery rhymes to your school children. Books to show your children how to masturbate. They're passing out butt plugs at school. Yes. Mm-hmm. Showing intercourse between man on man, woman on woman in elementary school books, but we don't want to learn about the history of Black folk.
we're going to ban that because that's like real history. We want to teach your children about how to have sex with each other as, same sex. That's more logical. Or is it delusional? We are down a slippery slope to where we can have a very prestigious committee of our government, welcome in another judge of high esteem, to our number one superior court, and be asked as a Black woman, what is the definition of woman? And that particular judge, as a Black woman, cannot answer that question. I know you're lying. This has to be a joke. No. This is no joke. She'd have to confer with a doctor. The delusion. This is a person who's going to rule and judge in the highest court of our land, the Supreme Court, and could not simply give a definition, being a Black woman from birth, give a definition of what a woman is. Do we not see that this is delusional yet? No. So now you have panels of trans women that were men, that went over, had the sex change, had everything rearranged, got their pronouns, their bathrooms, their child books into the schools, and all of that what they wanted. Now they want to tell women, we're going to call you a new name as well. Oh no, the power is not enough to rule over their own domain. They want to rule over women that were born women and tell them that they're not women because they are women. So the original woman, is now going to be called cis woman. You are cis woman, like sister, cis woman. Oh, and on top of us calling you cis woman, you no longer have the monopoly on your menstrual cycle. Who told you you had the monopoly, the ownership of a menstrual cycle? We, as trans women, they would say, can have menstruals too. Maybe not in the same way that you have a menstrual, maybe a headache, a stomach ache I might feel that day. But that's my menstrual. So now they're mad because cis women, the real women, have menstrual cycles that they no longer can claim as they are the only women that have menstrual cycles. Although that they actually literally dispose of dead and unused eggs to procreate children. Although the trans woman does not cleanse and have a cycle to replenish and cleanse blood and production, a reproduction of this life that we know as humanity. The trans woman has told her very essence as a woman can no longer be claimed or defined as a woman. So now we're here in this very damn time in 2023. And you would have people to start to assimilate. What's the word? Assimilate. We are bored. We are here to assimilate you. We are Borg. We are here to assimilate you. And so now you have a whole bunch of Borg walking around, being assimilated to the nonsense that we know as the delusion, to be a part of the inclusion. that is taking over the land. And so now I pause you here because this is where we're at to just simply say, once that virus of inclusion takes hold and these children come up under the umbrella of women. Cis women are not women. They don't have here. We don't know what's a woman, who's a man, what's a man, what's the sand, what's the sky, what's the earth around your being, when we're already confused about all of that as it is. We don't know who the hell we are, what the hell we was born, and why we are here, and what we are here to do. When I think my father, at least, told my people to go forth and procreate. Now, this new nation of people will come up and have no clue, you see, on how to procreate, because their procreation will take place in a lab. And just say if some type of new world order was to come about and so much control was to take effect, and we are going to only allow so many people to have children, and now you have to put a raffle, and now it's a lottery. It's a lottery to even be able to have a child, because we're in these smart cities, and we didn't realize that once we brought the people from the old lands into the new smart cities, that they would be procreating. I mean, they would be getting it on. I didn't know. They almost took on the same effect as them Hebrews. They got all snug and probably a little uncomfortable in those smart cities, and they were like, well, let's just make ourselves feel a little better about being here. They done had too many children. We wasn't planning for all them children in this smart city. We can't eat and drink all of that meat of them new children. They done went beside themselves. We're going to sterilize them ones that think they can procreate still. And it's a lottery. We have enacted a lottery to have children. And they will be created in the labs. All of the trans people. Yay! We told you our day has come. That is our Messiah. We told you that's how the world would be. Oh, yeah. Now you have a lottery to procreate children, and maybe some disaster might hit. Yeah. Hit the smart cities. All of the AI that were programmed for surgeries and procreations and the running of the lottery, a virus was uploaded to their circuitry, and somehow all of them went offline. So now everyone in the smart city from the old world has died, or either they have, transed over, because, all the trans people are treated like royalty. It's a new day, it's a new world. But something happened to the system. And now there's a virus, and we can't get the information back. And we don't know who we are. And we don't know what is procreation. We've heard of this word. It's an ancient word, a word that came from the old world. But we don't know how to get back to this. And we are the last of us as it's. We are the last of the it's. And if we could only figure out how the old world continued to live on, we could survive. But now, all we have is our cold robots to run the day-to-day. But the last of the it's are dying. And if we don't figure out something by, I don't know, the year 4055, it is it. For us, it's. We must figure it out. It is too ancient. That is an ancient technology. I think they actually transmitted bodily fluids. Somehow, we don't have any more bodily fluids. It's over for the its, and that society crashes. I mean, that's just a little story time I gave y'all, but it's basically the same. You raise a nation of delusional people. Do you feel me? So that's the same thing that's with the agenda of my black brothers thinking they can wipe out all of the sisters. Then they'll have a nation of Egyptians, Carmel folks who don't appreciate the color of skin that they are in or kin to the ancient people. Mm-hmm. But see, there's a new planet in the sky that's going to make that equator that they're sitting on, well, it's going to make that a little more hotter. Mm-hmm. To where they're going to wish they didn't, kind of hate on those ancients, their relatives that possessed a little more melanin. Yeah, they're going to wish they didn't hate on them because they're going to wind up like the it people that came from the old city that was formerly known as trans and pronouns and, that you know how that city wound up. They didn't make it into 2045. And a lot of these people who have so much hate for people who possess a little more melanin than they do just might not make it. And they might not make it just from the hate that they possess in their heart. So, with that being said, it's deuces from me, and I'm out. And much, much love.